We're talking about rings. We're talking about power.
The ring.
The rings.
Rings of power.
Rings of power. So we got
3
Sauron
rings
and a Numenorian.
so far.
Trop, I believe this is called.
The man Tataz.
Yep.
Yeah. Got that moob armor.
The moob.
So far, 3 rings.
3
Three
rings.
rings.
3 rings.
I will say this.
At the end of the show, 3 rings. They did get the rings of power in the episode.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Here's the problem. For people who don't know the lore of Lord of the Rings, I've done my research. Here's what they got wrong. First off, Galadriel wasn't there when the rings were made. Neither was Elrond.
Yeah.
They never trusted the deceiver, who was Sauron, who did go to, what was Grandma's name?
Celebrimbor, Grandma Rimbor.
Wait, Grandma? What?
He looks like he's wearing a grandma outfit.
And his haircut looks kind of
and
grandma.
he's really old. He
Yeah.
looks so old.
So
He's
first
a
off,
master crafter. Been
Celebrimbor
around for years.
was jacked. A jacked Smith elf
he was dope looking.
in the books. But that doesn't matter. So what actually happens in the books, Sauron disguises himself as an elf. He comes and talks to Celebrimbor. They become
Anatar.
friends. Over a long time, they create how many rings? 9? I think 9 rings.
No.
9 rings.
9
For the men.
9 for men,
3 for elves.
3 for elves,
So like 16 rings.
and then how many? What?
3 for... No, 2 for...
7 for the dwarves?
3 for
7.
elves don't count. 3
Yeah,
for elves don't
7
count.
for... You're right. 7 and
7
then
for
the rings
dwarves,
of power.
9 for
Okay,
men.
all of the ones for the men and the dwarves were created by them. And then
All for the elves originally.
all for the elves originally. So then what happens? Sauron leaves. Celebrimbor's like, look at all these cool rings of power, right? Sauron goes to Mordor, crafts the one ring, puts it on. Immediately, the elves know, oh crap, these rings are compromised. They toss them out, and then they create the 3 other rings that are still worn by Galadriel, by Elrond, and by Celebrimbor. I think he took one.
No,
it was the king.
No, it was somebody else, and I forget his name, but he gave it to Gandalf.
But those 3 rings that are at the end are not defiled by Sauron.
Right.
That's why the elves still wear them when
It
during
took
the
a long
Fellowship.
time to forge the rings.
It did. It took a long time.
Years to
Sauron
forge the
was
rings.
so. First off, he wasn't a man. He wasn't a person named Halbrand. He was an elf, and he didn't have a relationship with Galadriel. He wasn't hanging out with Elrond, and he definitely was not hanging out with a grandma-looking Celebrimbor.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
He was hanging out with a jacked Celebrimbor. And they're making a lot more than 3 rings. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean,
So they already missed out on like the chunk of the rings of power.
Well, because they don't have the rights to the story.
So the rings of power is already defiled because all of the rings of power that the one ring like controls are not even made.
So,
So
my biggest thing, like I did with She-Hulk, aside from the the bad acting.
okay,
There wasn't like a ton of bad acting, but there was some bad acting.
there was bad lines for them to deliver.
It was mostly dialogue. Aside from the bad dialogue, aside from the bad story writing, and aside from like a lot of the bad other creative decisions, the biggest thing is the whole show feels like it's just supposed to remind you of Lord of the Rings, the Peter Jackson movies, not the books, not their own version of the Lord of the Rings, but the Peter Jackson movies. That's all it felt like to me.
Because the Peter Jackson movies were so successful. If they don't do that, they're like, well, the majority of people watch those. They were so successful. If we need to make our billions of dollars back, we have to get people to reminisce on the thing that they know, which happens to be the movies, which does a disservice by the people that are going to enjoy and pay and support and back your project the most, because those are also fans and respecters of Tolkien the man, the artist, the creator, the writer, the author.
Josh, you don't like to hate things.
He doesn't hate nothing, really.
So what were your thoughts on the whole show?
So there was some time.
Sorry. Keep going.
There was some timeline issues and stuff that.
The whole show was a timeline issue.
I mean, their timeline wasn't great. I think the show started off very like there was a lot that was going on, but yet like not a lot, and so it was confusing. I think it took a lot till you could actually get into the story that they were telling. By the last episode, I was in the story because I had figured it out by then, but. Starting off was not strong in my opinion, so that was.
But I mean, what people have been doing is comparing this to House of the Dragon. they compared the first 3 episodes of this and the first 3 episodes of House of the Dragon. And in the first 3 episodes of House of the Dragon, you get a ton of story, and you're invested in every character that you see. In this, it's like by the 3rd episode, you're like, these episodes are really long and nothing seems to be happening, where it's happening very slowly. And when things start happening fast, they happen too fast, like going from Numenor to the Southlands, which is Mordor, and then finding the people, which is a journey of weeks, if not months.
Yeah. I think the pacing, I wish that they showed us more downtime of traveling or just conversations that I wish that we got.
The other issue is they bind at the very beginning, they bind what's happening in the Southlands and what's happening with Galadriel with the meteor. They see it happen at the same time, right? And where they are in those moments doesn't track timeline-wise.
I heard the Nerd of the Rings guy.
Yeah.
And he's not, so his point of view is this is a show and he's not hating on it. He's looking at it as a separate entity from the books because he said it doesn't matter what they create, nothing's going to be better than the books. So if you want to be a true fan, then be a fan of the book. Stop trying to say the show has to be like the book. That's his point of view. Whatever.
Yeah, and I would agree if the show was good.
But he's doing breakdown videos of these episodes, and he's like trying to figure out where people are on the map and like where the Harfoots are wandering.
Yeah,
he's like
so confused.
Where they're going. They're going in
they?
circles, and then they're showing up by Greenwood, and then they're close to the Misty Mountains, and then they're out in the wilderness with wolves somewhere. He's like, it seems like they're going in a zigzag pattern, and one scene they're south, and the next scene they're north, and it's all confusing.
Yeah.
So
my least favorite part was where the Harfoots. Even though I like I like hobbits, I don't really care for the Harfoots. They're just not. It's boring to me.
Yeah.
Also, that goodbye scene, they were trying so hard. They're like, just draw it out, stretch it out until somebody cries. Keep making it longer. Make them keep saying goodbye to this Nori little hobbit lady.
Also, you like you like how they reminded you of Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings when he says you got to follow your nose.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just reminding you of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there was tons.
They don't say anything. They don't like quote the books.
Of not Gandalf.
Not Gandalf.
Where do I go? Not Gandalf, right here.
I mean, he's got a honker on him. He can smell some, I guess.
Look, I don't have any issue with the casting of this guy. I don't mind it.
I don't like how he was pretty much nonverbal, and then all of a sudden he can speak full sentences.
Yeah, in full sentences, like he knows what's going on.
At first, he's like, peril. And then he's like, whenever in doubt,
follow your nose.
It's like, how did you get from here to there in like, I don't know, 2 scenes?
Yeah.
He's
like, death? And then, fly, you fool!
I got so many thoughts about this show. There's almost too much to cover.
They showed us Balrog, but they
never showed us Balrog.
I thought that's how the show would end, was with kind of the Balrog fighting, but we didn't see that.
No, it's just to remind you of the Balrog.
It was almost a cliffhanger to end the
It was another
season.
Mama Babari.
A memberberry.
Memberberry. It's funny how like certain communities of the internet just like pick up. They're like, we're gonna refer to every callback to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings as a memberberry because of that one funny South Park episode.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole rest of the time, all of the internet's like the memberberries and Rings of Power.
What'd you think of this kid?
Gosh,
Whoa, the Southlanders.
They really did him a disservice with this haircut
And the mustache.
And the
little mustache. Because the guy,
he's got a better mustache.
I've seen what
than
he
me.
looks like. I've seen what he looks like out of the hair, right, with normal length hair and shaved out. He's not an unattractive guy.
Wait, no,
I don't know, bro. Look at them nostrils.
No.
There was a picture of him right there that you missed.
No,
go back.
This is a bad picture.
Or scroll down. See
this
if we
is
can
in
find
the movie, dude.
Hey, look, it's
he's a mouth breather. No offense.
He's in awe of the
Look
sword.
up the cast. Go to IMDb. I want to curious about the cast.
It's I think they did him a disservice with this look. They could have done more.
Yes.
Man. Let's see, where is he?
Down.
Theo.
Right
there he
here.
is. Look at him right there in that picture. He doesn't look half bad.
He kind of looks like a they them.
This episode is.
They want to be called that.
We started off.
The people want to be called that, right? Am I wrong?
Without touching on the diversity issue,
I don't think it's really an issue, honestly.
It's an issue. It's an issue with like lore stuff. When
it comes down to it, the amount of issues that
more
this had,
more hardcore fans have issues with. The show just I have too many complaints lore wise
to even touch the race.
To even touch race.
I will say this: out of all the people that I thought I would have a problem with the least, out of everybody, Durin and Disa were the best part of the show. Like their energy and their everything, it worked for some freaking reason.
Yeah.
And everyone was so pissed at Disa before the show started, and then she gets her on screen, and it's like finally something that's tolerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the show was the worst part of the show was outside the show. Was the show attacking fans, saying everybody's toxic.
Click on the cast.
JD Payne and Patrick McKay in the article after the show was finished saying that the fans who criticized the show are patently evil. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
that the fans are patently evil.
We stand against the racism. I don't think there was any racism going on.
Mm-mm.
People were genuinely saying, dude, at this point, we're watching the episodes. We don't have a problem with the race. It's literally your content. It sucks.
Bad writers. Well, not necessarily bad writers, because some of the writers for the show worked on like Breaking Bad and stuff.
And Game of Thrones. And freaking the other things.
Yeah, but JD Payne and Patrick McKay have not ever had anything successful in Hollywood. They've applied for multiple things and never gotten anything, and then were given this.
Doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me. I don't know why. And then they get all dressed up like there's some kind of edgy, thoughtful people.
Yeah.
But they wrote a piece of garbage, or they created a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
You and your straight teeth.
Yeah. A lot of the issues I have aren't necessarily with like the show itself. The show looks nice. I'll give it this over Game of Thrones. You can see it even in the dark portions.
That's true.
You can see what's happening in the show.
Let's do this. I'm gonna look up the cinematographer. I'm gonna see. Let's appreciate some of the people that did the good stuff behind the show, right?
And craft services. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely hit the craft services. Let's see. Series directors. Let me get down below the cast. It's a long cast. This is where all their money went.
I don't know where their money went.
Well, a lot of it went to marketing. Series film edited by. The editing wasn't bad. Where's the dang cinematographer? Where's the
DP?
dang cinematographer?
There wasn't one.
Where you at, bro?
Also,
here we go. Cinematography by Aaron for
Aaron
4
Norton.
episodes. All right, what else has he done?
Why does that
Orphan
picture
Black,
look like
Black
he's like
Mirror.
really?
Did some Black Mirror stuff. Other things we haven't seen.
Shadow
Sweet
and
Tooth.
Bone he worked on, Sweet Tooth.
Shadow and Bone looked pretty good.
So did Sweet Tooth, honestly.
Yeah,
Black Mirror
but I can see the
episodes.
crossovers. Let's see who else. Alex. Oops, wrong person. IMDb screwing with me.
That's because IMDb sucks.
Give it a
Sorry,
second. There
I'm
it
sorry,
goes.
y'all.
No, I agree with you. They got to fix it. All right, so Alex DiStefano. Dishoff.
Dishoff.
I recognize his face. What have I seen him in? Or what have I seen him do?
State.
He done the most
Cinematographer,
recent Exorcist.
Exorcist, Fishing Without Nets. So, the movies. Oh, he worked on Watchmen.
The Watchmen on HBO.
Let's see. Legion. Legion had some good cinematography.
Code 8.
What
The
about
Exorcist?
Code 7 and 6?
TV
Yeah.
series.
So he's done a good chunk of stuff. Not anything huge. Well, who is this third person? Oscar Farah?
Farah?
Let's see if we
Farah.
notice.
Farah.
Jurassic Park Dominion.
Okay.
He did that.
Okay.
The Impossible.
The Impossible.
One of the worst Jurassic Park movies. Okay.
The Impossible.
One of the worst.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he looks like he's worked on a lot of horror movies, some Spanish movies.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, go back down. I was reading that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I can't read fast.
Anna. The Body.
Okay.
The Impossibles. All right, and then let's take a look at some craft services.
All right. Hey, yeah.
All right, you guys got to help me look for this because I am never good at
You're
finding
so
these.
bad at this.
All right, so series makeup department, series nope.
Just keep scrolling.
Series sound department, nope. Let me zoom out just a
Special
touch.
effects. That's a short list for special effects.
There's a lot of special effects. Man, they were really working hard, these guys. Tell me if you see
There's the special
heading.
effects.
Tell me if you see the heading series stunts, nope. Series camera and electrical department, nope. Costumes, wardrobe department, series casting development. Come on. We should get these prepared ahead of time. Location management.
Music. I actually thought the music in the intros was very good.
Music across the board was very acceptable and good and moving at moments. Series additional crew. Okay, here's where it is. I see any craft services. If they're not credited, I'm gonna crap.
Stop scrolling.
Sure.
I don't see any.
I don't see them. Scholar Tolkien.
No, stop scrolling. Go.
I'm just looking at these other ones just in case. Is there a way you
I
can
don't see
search
anybody.
IMDb?
No, IMDb sucks. I'm telling you, it's got the worst user interface.
Location manager. They for real didn't credit craft services.
They probably did. We just can't find it.
Yeah.
If you guys can find craft services on IMDb.
Wait, hold on. They only have one armor and costume prop supervisor. Man,
Dude, that's why they got
y'all really should that moob armor. Gosh, that was awful.
Yeah, that's all the costume wardrobe.
Didn't work. Breakdown armor.
Series animation department. What's
One-
Diana? Diana Grande?
She worked on one episode.
What is she doing, man?
done a
She's
lot of
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. What?
Men in Black.
Men in Black with these two fools? When is that coming out? 2019? It's already out.
Been out.
Witches.
It was bad. It was woke.
Oh, it was woke?
Yeah.
Dang it.
I don't even think I've seen that movie. I don't
It was
remember.
woke.
I
Nobody
genuinely
talked about
don't know what else to say without continuing this going for a while.
it. What do you rate it,
2.
Josh?
I'm gonna give it 2 ratings. because
No, give it 1 rating, you freaking
Hold on,
apologist.
I want to hear this.
as a Lord of the Rings show, I'm gonna give it a 1.5. As a show that has nothing to do with Tolkien and his, its own thing outside of Tolkien, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Here's the problem. It is a Lord of the Rings show.
It is a Lord of the Rings
You
show.
cannot, that's such a cop-out. People online are keep doing this. It's a cop-out because they didn't make a new show. They are proselytizing Tolkien's masterpiece.
I agree. And that's why I can't give it a rating, because it would be too harsh.
Give it a rating. This is your podcast.
All you can do is 0.
This is your corner of the internet. Tell him what you think.
You can only give it a 0. That's as low as you can
It says
go.
I could go lower.
No, you can't go lower than a 0.
Look, She-Hulk is bad because it's a bad TV show.
From start to finish.
Right, and the writers aren't creative, the showrunners aren't creative. They're bad at this. They're bad at storytelling. This show is Tolkien's work.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Now, YouTube's really gonna hate this episode. Use the R word.
It's tearing apart something that's already good for money. That's the worst thing. And I don't. It's hard for me to appreciate the things that are good in the show and the performances that are good because of what they're doing to something I love. It's the same thing that happened with The Wheel of Time. It's the same thing with anything that you enjoy, right? And then, of course, there's the race issue. No. No, I don't like being called patently evil.
Well, the show didn't call us that. The creators, Amazon did. And it's... The more I think about it, the more I get upset. If I stop thinking about it, I can enjoy like the beautiful cinematography, the sweeping shots of the mountains and stuff.
The way
I can
that
enjoy
Moria,
that, but as soon as I start dissecting it in my mind, I just get angry.
Moria looks good.
Moria looks awesome.
They show it for like 2-3 shots, really good, and then they show rooms.
You know, the mithril concept is fun. It's just not lore.
No. They said some elf at some point fought a Balrog and something in a tree.
And I don't know. I just they just change things unnecessarily. And here's what I completely don't understand. We did a video on the rights to Lord of the Rings, okay? They're not going back to the appendices of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits to tell the story because that's not accounted for in there. Like, not this amount. All they're doing is they are taking head knowledge of what the Silmarillion has to say, and then they are remixing it. So I don't understand how this even works legally. You know what I mean? Like, you say, we keep saying, all right, they didn't have the rights to do it this way. Well, by that logic, how did they do anything in the Second Age period with these people's names like Celebrimbor? How are they even using his name? Does his name show up in the appendices of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. They already don't have the rights to use that name, yet they did. So my question is like, how does this work? Are they going to get sued for $3 billion because they've proselytized a piece of work that they didn't even have access to use, and then they overstep their bounds? I don't even know how this all works, and it pisses me off. Why'd you even step in this direction?
Why'd you even add this to the segment? Why you even talk about it?
The actual show itself,
yeah.
That we know we don't like it, but
the actual show
Someone's
itself.
tooting in this room.
Nah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
The actual show itself, I don't like. I wish they had done better.
I dropped my rating to a 1.5.
One of the cinematographers in this show is married to one of the EPs in Wheel of Time.
Yeah,
really.
Everything's connected. Everything's connected.
Is it one of who?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is secondhand information, so it's probably telephoning. Yeah,
that wonderful game of telephone.
It was fun.
That's the cool thing about the internet. A bunch of propaganda can spread like wildfire.
Wildfire.
And
I know that's true. I know that.
That's not beautiful. That's not beautiful.
There's
in some ways, it's
that
fun.
Are connected.
Not when it comes to canceling and Me Too, but if it's other things like, I don't know, Kanye West wore what around his neck? That kind of stuff's
Yo,
fun.
it was a rock.
It was a rock with duct tape.
I should have worn that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to wear for Halloween. Just like,
are we allowed to be Kanye West since he's being canceled right now? Like, are we allowed to come to, like, dress up as Kanye West?
I don't know. I vote that we secede from this topic.
Yeah,
let's move on.